What are video games like for people who don't play them? This is a question that has been asked and answered for many different games by people on YouTube, most notably by Razbuten. Usually the goal is to see how a new player approaches mechanics we are familiar with, but they aren't. My goal, however, is slightly different. I want to take a dive into my and your childhood to unearth video games we played as kids, and then show them to my girlfriend who doesn't play video games. This will hopefully allow us to deduce whether these games are actually approachable to new, unfamiliar players, or if these iconic titles are just propped up by our nostalgia. As a fun way of measuring her progress over these installments, I've structured them so that the first and last are two different versions of Minecraft, namely Minecraft Xbox 360 Edition and Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. After playing different games between these two versions, we might be able to see how her ability has grown quite clearly when she plays Minecraft for the second time. The series is entirely funded by my Patreon, by the way, so thank you so much to those who have joined. Oh, and if anyone's worried about the similarity with Raz's videos, I have his approval. So, as I stated a second ago, we'll be beginning this series with Minecraft Xbox 360 Edition, a version I myself grew up playing. My girlfriend, who, as you can probably tell, goes by Jemima, doesn't play video games, but was especially unused to playing with a controller. After picking her incredible world name, she decided to set the game on peaceful mode. This might seem like she's missing out on a key aspect of Minecraft, but knowing that she'll be playing Minecraft later on again, I decided that she could play on peaceful, so long as she agreed that when she played Minecraft Beta 1.7.3 at the end of this series, she does so on normal mode. What that entails exactly, she'll find out later.
So I'm hoping that I'm gonna find a llama, because they're cute.
There are no llamas.
What?
There are no llamas in this version.
What version has llamas?
Not this one. As for this playthrough, Jemima joined the world to discover that she was entirely unsure how to use a controller.
How do I...
But her attitude was quickly revitalized by the pretty dandelions.
Those little yellow flowers, they're cute.
She got slightly overwhelmed by the legacy crafting menu, but eventually used the control tips in the bottom left to mine her first block of wood.
How do I, what if I want to break this tree? Oh.
Yeah. There you go. She seemed more interested in collecting flowers, though. She was momentarily lost with regards to what to do, but she instinctively decided that finding a beautiful place to build a house was the top priority, and that she was going to do a no-harming animals playthrough.
And I'm not going to kill any animals.
No, you're doing a pacifist run.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vegetarian Minecraft.
Vegetarian Minecraft. After finding a spot she deemed good enough, she figured out how to place down some sugarcane and complemented the C418 Minecraft soundtrack.
How do I... There we go. Boom. Music's pretty as well.
Later on, she terraformed the land, a surprisingly intuitive building decision for an early player to make. As she started making use of the crafting menu, it was clear that Legacy Minecraft's crafting interface and tips feature really is helpful to new players. I decided to help her out with one thing that I couldn't let this playthrough go without. I went into settings and slid the gamma slider all the way to 100%. Legacy Minecraft players know that this is the way. It's about to get dark. When Jemima uncovered her first cave, she expressed her fear of this aspect of Minecraft, as it could cause her to get lost and lose her house.
I'm a little scared of mining, because what if I get lost inside there? You can go up and put blocks underneath you and go up, but I'm so scared. And then what if I lose my beautiful jungle island home? Because I get lost in mine.
Shortly after, she discovered that this version of Minecraft gives a map to each new player, allowing some relief in terms of getting lost.
A map?
As her first night came to an end, she explained how beautiful she found many aspects of this game to be.
Whoa, look at the moon. It's beautiful.
She spent the next day very focused on making a pretty build and finding out a way to ethically source wool from sheep.
And if I want to make a bed, I have to use wool. How do I ethically source wool in Minecraft?
That night, she also noticed something I'm not even sure I've ever consciously noted, that the moon goes through phases in-game.
The moon phases change?
Yeah.
That's really cute.
Jemima was clearly struggling with the controller as she accidentally went into third person and couldn't get out for quite a while.
How do I stop doing this? How do I stop?
It also doesn't seem to be particularly intuitive that you can crouch in this game, as Jemima struggled a lot with trying to use the controller while on a ladder. One thing I would consider Title Update 13 to pose an issue with is world size, but she really didn't seem concerned with exploring past the large ocean, which is good because she wouldn't be able to on the classic world size. This also helped in a sense as her entire world was enclosed on one map, and she didn't have to worry about running off the side of it and getting lost that way.
Nice.
I'm gonna stop doing that.
Just for clarification, that is Stuart burping, not me.
She was not, however, a fan of the tool breaking feature Minecraft has. Maybe Terraria will be more to her liking in that sense. She finally discovered crouching. I could now stop worrying about her falling off of her own roof.
Wow.
Jemima discovered crouching.
All by myself.
All by herself, yeah. She also discovered the joy of messing around with silly third-person perspective shots. There seems to be a universal agreement that floating trees look ugly, as Jemima went on a floating tree culling spree once she figured out they weren't going to decay on their own. She was also putting aside different kinds of wool for fuel, which was all well and good, but if only she knew how much caving would solve her issues, such as a dark house or needing fuel for a furnace. Jemima made a very profound comment about the nature of this game, which I resonate with a lot. I'll let her speak for herself.
It's really cute. I feel like I could just like play it for a really long time and like not think about anything else. Because there's so many like cute little things to do.
Jemima seems to get a little queasy playing Minecraft. Something I've noticed among non-gamers, as my mom used to say the same thing when she would watch me play as a kid.
Oh, exhausting, huh?
Yeah.
Exhausting.
My eyes are like...
Now you see my job is I got a hard job.
The long day factory.
I got a hard job, you know.
I wonder if starting to play so many video games when you're young accustomises you to not getting this feeling as much. Jemima eventually ventured back into the mine and, after finding no ores, just started mining away at blocks arbitrarily. Clearly the idea of mining a staircase downward isn't something that is intuitive to non-gamers. She ran into some pumpkins and followed the legacy tip's advice and put it on her head. She didn't love the visual mechanics of it.
Oh, I can't see very well.
She also expressed an interest in putting a big jungle tree on her roof, as well as the idea of having a yellow bed, as yellow is her favorite color.
Can I put a tree on my roof? If I put dirt on the roof, can I plant a tree on there?
Wouldn't you like to?
I'll try. I'll try it out.
She did return to that cave I mentioned a little later, and started mining downward in a sort of diagonal direction, which found her some coal.
What?
Is the hint giving it away?
Where is it? There we go. Yay.
The crafting menu in Xbox 360 edition seems incredibly helpful to her as a new player. She saw what was missing to make one item, flipped back through the menu to craft the other item, and further back to craft the item needed for that one, and so on, following it logically until she made the planks, sticks, and torches she needed. Despite having an axe and pickaxe, she hadn't yet figured out that a shovel was a necessary item regardless of how much dirt and sand she mined. The mining and water physics was coming to her naturally though, as she comfortably waterlogged the sand she wanted to mine before mining it.
Let me just add some more to my roof. And then we'll be done.
As you can probably hear from this recording, Jemima and I had somewhere to be, but this game was gripping her interest so much that she felt she had to finish off this or the other thing before logging off, a feeling I definitely resonate with. She also gave a few verbal notes at the end of the session.
Some thoughts about Minecraft. I like that there's like farm animals running around in like the jungle and stuff. That makes no sense, but it's cute that there's lots of animals. I don't like the mining part. I just like the crafting. And I feel like I want to play this for a really long time because I want to have a farm and I want to have a nice house. And there's like so many things I want to do, but it all takes a really long time. And I'm glad I'm not playing with the scary things. That's all.
On a mission to find iron for shears to ethically source wool, Jemima began digging downward in a shallow cave she discovered. Luckily, she wasn't quite digging straight down and found a pocket of iron ore before finding a pocket of lava.
Oh!
Nice.
Yay!
She noted that some blocks are in fact affected by gravity, narrowly avoiding gravel falling on her head. Interestingly, she sometimes picked up her previously placed down torches on her way through the caves she explored. This is something I never do, and honestly it's a pretty fuel-efficient way to operate. She clearly does not have a knack for clutching drops into water from above.
You missed the water.
On this mining trip, Jemima heard her first ever cave noise, a universally disliked, creepy sound effect it seems.
Whoa, I just heard a creepy sound.
She also discovered she would need better gear for certain blocks thanks to the Legacy Tips feature, and with a little encouragement from me, realized she didn't need to be at home to use a furnace and crafting table. She finally achieved her goal of making shears and crafted her first iron
Yay.
pickaxe. She mined some redstone, but I would be very surprised if she made any use of that in this playthrough. Don't take that personally, Gem, I barely even know how to use redstone. She also discovered the limits of her inventory, getting upset that she couldn't pick up any more blocks as she began her ascent out of the cave. While the old autosave feature is quite invasive as it requires a loading screen that takes you out of the game, it is always informative to read the facts on the bottom of said loading screen.
Minecon 2013.
I was wondering, what's the recommended amount of dedicated RAM I should have to a server?
Although digging straight up is a lot safer than digging straight down, there's always the fear that gravel might fall and suffocate you as it tried to do to Jemima. Luckily, she was quick enough in mining the gravel away, despite the fact that she still hadn't crafted a shovel yet. She eventually reached the surface and finally sheared her first sheep. Using her map to find her way home, she went into the crafting menu to make a bed that she wanted to dye yellow, but sadly discovered beds could only be red in this version.
I mean, better than no bed, I guess.
It's funny, this is the first time I've ever seen someone opposed to the red exclusive beds of early Minecraft. Usually people love it, but without that nostalgic lens, I suppose it just feels a bit choice restricting. Jemima slept for the first time, unbeknownst to her, finally securing her respawn point in her house.
I'm sleeping. First sleep in my new house. Yay. Yippee.
I was worried that she might die from failing to clutch a water drop and discover that she was nowhere near home. She also began storing her belongings in a chest instead of just in her inventory. Coming back from your first mining trip will usually force you to do that. On that day, Jemima finished the main structure of her first ever base in Minecraft Xbox 360 Edition. A beautiful thing to see. There were two things missing that she wanted to add: a tree on the roof and vines for decoration. I felt bad that she had given up on trying to get jungle saplings, as she thought they simply weren't dropping like they usually do from oak trees, so I helped her out by encouraging her to chop and break some more trees and leaves. Eventually, she acquired her 4 necessary saplings for a large jungle tree, which I also may have hinted at was possible to grow yourself. In this playthrough, she would of course have no way of speeding up the growing process without bone meal, but it should grow on its own in due course, and she failed another water jump attempt. Interestingly, she related how much dirt is around the saplings to their odds of growing, which, while not true, is a pretty logical idea. Using the fact that vines are climbable and grow on their own, Jemima decided to try swapping out ladders for vines and also make a vine-draped entrance. While working on this entranceway, her big tree grew. I was shocked and very happy for her that it grew so quickly.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
Yay!
Putting the finishing touch on Jemima's incredibly original house design.
It's beautiful.
It's so good. Wow, that's a
Wow.
tall tree too.
It blends right in with the jungle behind it now. For one final achievement in this playthrough, Jemima logged back in one last time to make a water jump from a high height.
Yay.
Oh my god. Unbeknownst to both of us, as I had forgotten, water needs to be more than 1 block deep to save you from full damage in Xbox 360 Edition.
Oh, wow.
Unwilling to give up though, she mined the water deeper and finally thought to craft a shovel to do it. With a deeper bay dug out, Jemima finally clutched her first water jump.
Hey!
A very sweet note for her to end off on. After that last recording, I planted a few of the dandelions around her base that she collected at the start and sadly forgot to plant herself. I also waited for the vines to grow across her doorway to get a few cool shots of the base. It seems all Jemima was really concerned with in this version was making beautiful builds, which I think is a sentiment very much grounded in what Minecraft is all about. Not fast progress or defeating bosses, but rather the slow, calm lifestyle of building pretty things. Hell, over this whole playthrough she didn't even consider sprinting as a feature of the game. But let's get down to the question. Through the lens of Jemima, is Minecraft Xbox 360 Edition actually an approachable game to new players, or is it just propped up by our nostalgia? Well, let's take the features that were really quite helpful to her. The main controls, being in the bottom left, constantly helped her a lot as she had to look down at the controller frequently to make sure she was pressing the right button. The tips that came up on screen for certain blocks helped push her in the correct direction, such as knowing she needed to upgrade her pickaxe to mine certain ores. The crafting menu walked her through what she needed for new tools and blocks. The map helped her find her way home. These are all things that aren't just Minecraft features, but specifically Minecraft Legacy features, which all helped her in one way or another immensely. On the other hand, there were aspects that didn't help, such as the unfamiliarity of a controller to a non-gamer. She's familiar with a keyboard and some mobile controls, but a controller does definitely have a learning curve when starting to play Minecraft. She also definitely leaned more towards the building aspects of the game, and much less towards tool progression or mining, which was fine for her as she was on Peaceful. I'm interested to see how differently her experience of Minecraft will be when she plays Beta 1.7.3. Maybe her experience in other games, such as Terraria coming up next, will help her prepare for that version. Overall though, aside from a few failed water jump clutches, Jemima seems to have become comfortable with Minecraft Xbox 360 edition, and in large part seemed to thoroughly enjoy the beauty and creativity of the game, enough to ignore the slight irritations it had to offer. Therefore, it seems pretty clear to me that, unrelated to our nostalgia for it, Minecraft Xbox 360 edition is very much approachable to non-gamers.